Hello, Math 7 students. We are still working in Module 3, and we are on Lesson 7. Turn to, nope, sorry, yes, Lesson 7. And it is called Properties of Inequalities. Can you see it? Properties of Inequalities, and we will find it on page 90 of my comp book. Turn there now. Okay, so we have properties of inequalities. Our goal for today. Today we will learn about inequalities and the symbols used to create them. The question that I want you to be thinking about during your lesson is, how do you know when you need to use an inequality instead of an equation to model a problem? Things to know. An inequality statement is a math sentence that has a solution describing the numerical value on both sides. An example of this is 5 plus x is greater than or equal to 3. So this is the math sentence that we're talking about, and the solution is on the right, and this expression on the left means that it has to be greater than or equal to 3. So we have to come up with a value for this x that will make it greater than or equal to 3. That's an inequality statement. Okay? Greater than explains that one numerical value is larger than the other numerical value. For example, we have 14 is greater than 2. So we know that 14 is bigger than 2, so we use the greater than symbol. Less than explains that one numerical value is smaller than the other numerical value. An example of this would be 18 is less than 37. And we know that to be true because 18 is smaller than 37, so we use the less than symbol to show us that. Okay? Greater than or equal to explains that the numerical value of the unknown amount is larger than or equal to the specific amount. So in our example, we have x is greater than or equal to 75. So that means that x can be any number larger than 75 or 75 exactly because of this greater than or equal to symbol. Less than or equal to explains that the numerical value of the unknown amount is smaller than or equal to a specific amount. An example of this is x is less than or equal to 6. So that answer means that x can be exactly 6 or smaller. So any number exactly 6 or smaller. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, and so on. Equals is a symbol that explains the numerical value on both sides of the equation are exactly the same. So for example of this, we have 12 minus 4 is equal to 2 plus 6. And we know that's true because 12 minus 4 is 8. 2 plus 6 is 8. So these two sides of the equation are equal because they have the exact same amount on both sides. Okay? The next thing that I need to go over with you is preserves. Preserves the inequality statement means that the sign stays the same no matter how you change the numbers. Okay? So if we start with 5 is greater than 2, and I change it by multiplying both values by a positive 1, I still get 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 1 is 2, so the inequality symbol stays exactly the same. So it is preserved. 5 is greater than 2. I change it by multiplying both of them by 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6. And we still say that 15 is greater than 6. So the inequality symbol stayed the same. 5 is greater than 2. I change it by adding 4 to both of the numerical values. 5 plus 4 equals 9. 2 plus 4 equals 6. 9 is still greater than 6. So preserve the inequality statement means the sign will stay the same depending on the change that you do. Okay? The opposite idea of what you need to know is called reverses the inequality statement. Reverses the inequality statement means the sign changes to its opposite. So an example of this, if we had 5 is greater than 2, and then I change it by multiplying it by a negative 1 and multiplying 2 by a negative 1, watch what happens. 5 times a negative 1 gives me a negative 5. 2 times a negative 1 gives me a negative 2, And we all know that -5 is smaller than -2. So look at what happened to your inequality symbol. It changed. It went from greater than, 5 is greater than 2, to -5 is less than 2. So when we multiplied by a negative, we had to reverse our signs to their opposite. Okay, again, let's try another one. 5 is greater than 2. If I multiply it by a -4 on both values, I get 5 times -4 is -20. 2 times -4 is -8. And we know that -20 is smaller or less than -8. So multiplying or dividing by a negative sign causes your inequality to have to be switched to the opposite. So, rules that we need to remember. When you multiply or divide by a positive sign, the sign is preserved. Okay? When you multiply or divide by a negative, the sign must be reversed. Okay? And this is really, really important for understanding how to make your inequality statements correct. Let's go back to our question of our lesson. Our question of our lesson today was, how do you know when you need to use an inequality instead of an equation to model a problem? The thing that I want you to remember with this is you use an inequality symbol when there could possibly be more than one answer. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Most of the time when we're doing problems that require you to solve for the variable to find an exact answer, that is called an equation. But when we are solving and we find out there can be more than one answer, it then turns into an inequality. So that's when you're going to use the inequality symbol instead of finding an exact answer. Our goal for today we will learn about inequalities and the symbols used to create them. I hope that this was pretty helpful for you, and that's all that I have. All right, my darlings, I'll talk to you later. Bye.